What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound. And I do have a new song out recently called Summer Gravity, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, let's jump into more answering your Splinterlands comments because I know there's going to be some spicy stuff in here based on recent videos I put out. I saw some of the previews, and so we'll see what we get to in this video. All right, first one is going to be a response to the "Is it time to change my wild format bot" video from Johnny Sniffle, saying, "I have the same issue and I'm down in Diamond 2 for the first time in over a year." Okay, so good to know it's not just me. I did let it run. It's back up to maybe like the low 40s, I think 42, 43%. Still abysmal in my opinion, but it does seem to be trending in the right direction. So maybe things were just difficult at the beginning of the season. Maybe, some of the top tier players were just buying tons and tons of energy with their glint, and so therefore we were essentially top heavy from an energy standpoint. That's my hope, and things will normalize out, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for letting me know, though, Johnny. All right, so Vlogging says, I've been using Xbox, and at least so far, I haven't noticed a huge change in my glint earnings. I tried the mobile app for a while, and at least for me, it was not good enough, so I deleted it. The problems were that it was laggy and slow. It's also annoyingly buggy. It sometimes loses your keys, and it might be difficult to add them again. I had to ask the support because it just didn't accept my Hive keys at some point. Luckily, they had some work around. Please do a video of how it works for you after a week or so. For me, it was not worth the trouble. I want to spend a little bit more time with it. I was surprised at how intuitive it was and felt, at least on iOS. And but there were some bugs that immediately slowed me down because I was trying to do stuff in the campaign mode and frontier mode, and I kept running into something. I even posted about it on Discord, and I don't think I ever got a response, so I'll have to follow up on that. But so far it's interesting. I'll have to wait and I'll reserve judgment and come back to it. All right, so Ryan Flesh says, I play around your rating with my accounts and have an average win rate of 48 to 49%. Okay, same as me, which is enough to hold your rating because of the win streak bonus, which you obviously didn't take into consideration. Your results are normal, and it will not keep going down. 38% win rate after a few games in the beginning of the season doesn't mean anything. Your rating might slowly go down over time because you haven't added cards to your deck besides the reward cards as others have. More than 50% is only possible with a much stronger deck. What I've noticed is that renting for the season is that prices for rentals have gone up. Interesting. So probably more cards are being rented now, and that's very likely because of the new reward system. Nothing surprising or unnormal happening. Not the bot's fault. Yeah, I said that, and I probably wasn't going to have the patience to go through and figure out another bot, but it's just funny because I had no idea that like the winner at the beginning of the season was going to be that abysmal. Granted, like I said, I hadn't really checked before, but seeing it that low, especially after like noticing that I was starting to drift down below the 50%, because it's only been recently that I have noticed I'm drifting below 50%. Before that, I was in like the 50.5 to 51% range. And I suppose what has happened is that over the summer, with the introduction of Conclave Arcana, slowly and steadily more cards getting played, more rule sets benefiting newer cards, things like that just kind of like leave the older cards out to pasture for land, right? That is kind of like the trend that I've been noticing. And to see it somewhat accelerated in the beginning of the season, I think the lowest that I saw before I made the video was like 36%, and then the bot went and won one, and I was like, okay, it's jumped up kind of like 2% there. So you're right. There's not that many games in the beginning, so it's like you have a decent amount of what's it called? You have a decent amount of swings with each win and loss, but still, I mean, we were at 36% with like almost 75 games played, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I can go back and look at the video, but it was not. I was just looking at that and like thinking to myself, like that is kind of terrible. That's kind of terrible, and I hope it doesn't continue. And so I guess the quick update that I'll give right now, let's see if I can find it. Now that we are in day number, well, there's 12 days and 10 hours remaining. And I am at a 41.89%. So it looks like it just lost because it was at 42% previously. But I appreciate you giving some insights, especially the fact that rentals or prices for rentals have gone up. That is actually very interesting. Leandro says, it is time for you to buy some modern cards and come back to the light side. Yeah, you know what? Hey, that's not off the table. So Pomp says, wow, it's truly a massive effort to add a decimal place. Wow, who knows how many lines of code would have to be rewritten? Maybe they could use AI to figure it out. So this is on the vouchers and SPS rewards for land, kind of talking about essentially giving another decimal point for DEC. But again, my question becomes, at what point does it become a race to the bottom, right? Because what you're noticing is that, if anything, Splinterlands is going the opposite direction. So instead of there being a 0.1 floor for card rentals, that was actually pushed up to 1 DEC. I would be shocked if you're going to get support to push this to a lower kind of denominator there. Yeah. So again, it's not an effort thing. I mean, maybe I was framing it in that way incorrectly. So I'll take that. It's not an effort thing in the sense of like, yeah, you just got to rewrite some lines of code. It's just what is the effort ratio? Well, I mean, I guess that's the same thing, but it's like what is the point of doing that? I suppose we get a little bit more depth in the marketplace and we find the true price, but I would think that the price would just then continue to fall down to 0.0001. Although now, to be honest with you, now seeing that there is demand, we would probably start to see it creep up. So I guess I could be sold on this, because then we would see a little bit of a truer market price, right? What the market is asking for, since we don't have an ask system, we only have a bid system. So to see where people are bidding at, in order to try to creep up or outbid other people for that SPS, I don't know. It's interesting. So I guess I could be convinced. All right. Kelly's saying, can't say I would follow you or anyone on Rumble. YouTube was convenient. Rumble is not. Not to mention the investors behind Rumble are not ones I'd like to support. YouTube, Discord, Twitch are where I would watch simply because I'm already there. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, so to be very clear, I have zero plans, zero intentions of stopping what I'm doing here on YouTube. Like I said, I do need to look into it a little bit further, but I'd like to think that we're not like talking crazy crypto stuff here. I know I talk about values of tokens and things like that, but the main part of that is the fact that the game runs on this stuff, and so much of like what has value in the game is determined by the value of the token, specifically DEC, right? So it's like, packs are at 60% of their price. DEC for land staking is at 60% of its price, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to continue on, and maybe my channel will be small enough that nobody cares. So stop watching too much, guys. We don't want the channel to blow up. All right, so International Travel Channel, thank you so much for the comment. All right, where are we at time-wise? All right, we're at about 8 minutes. So I will, let's go through DJ here, and then we can probably wrap it up. All right, so this is back to the other answering comments video. So DJ says he's talking about rental for SPS, not cards for the whole season. I get that. Also, going from 0.001 SPS to 0.002 is a 2x in price. He's saying let's have a market that can go from 0.0011. Okay, so again, I just convinced myself of this, or you guys convinced me of it already, right? And the only reason for this is because we just don't have an ask system. Although, you know what? At this point, if people want it and it's not going to be that much effort for the team, then sure, why not? It's just everything else in the game seems to go to 3 decimal places. So I don't know if this would screw things up, because your regular DEC, I mean, and I know some of this stuff is all taken care of in the background, but it's just, you guys do what you want to do. I'm not going to fight against it. I just didn't think that it was worth the time, but there's enough people screaming at me in the comments that I digress. I give in. You guys win. All right, so Lord Kicker says, thanks for translating that for me, my friend. English is not my native language, maybe also yours. By the way, I'm constantly losing when I play against you. All right, so just some good banter here. I think I agree with adding a decimal to the SPS rental market. While Aftersound is right in only fraction of a penny if you're renting 100,000 SPS at a time, this argument no longer stands. Well, again, that was my point. Like, one DEC is 1/10 of a penny. Right now, it costs you, what are we going out, three decimal places from that? So it's like 0.0001 of a penny to rent an SPS. And you want to go to 0.00001 if I'm saying enough zeros. Again, if this is what y'all want, who am I to stand here and stop you? I'm not the one Matt has to write the lines of code. But hey, give the people what they want. All right, actually, we're going to go through this. We'll end it with Joffrey because Joffrey's always fun. So Joffrey says, yes, everyone go support the guy who violated terms of service, and nobody has been publicly banned, and SPL hired the cheater. So he's referring to the creator of Xbot, Siler. Again, these are not, there's no conviction, as he said, right? There hasn't been anything. These are just claims. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I don't want to completely dismiss what Joffrey is saying, but at the same time, there hasn't been any evidence pushed forth to actually show that this was the case. But I am highlighting it here just because, I mean, this does seem to be the rumor, so maybe somebody can come in and either shut it down or shut down the rumor, or provide evidence for whatever it is that was going on in terms of shady business. So Skyler stole crypto from all the modern players. His account and all assets should have been banned from playing anything. Instead, Matt paid him off with a salary. So that's where we're going to end. I told you there'd be some spicy comments in here. That is all I have for you guys in the video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.